He walked away. Chris.
Where are you?
I'm in New York, in Queens, New York.
Oh,
Um,
fabulous.
Craze is in the Bronx, and Justin is in Brooklyn. So
Oh,
we're all over New York. We're live on YouTube, episode number 92. Craze left. He went to prepare his hookah. Today, our special guest is from 90 Day Fiance, 90 Day Fiance Pillow Talk, and the new 90 Day The Single Life. Molly is here joining us today live on the show.
hey, hey, hey.
Thank you for taking the time to be on the show with us. Shout out to
Absolutely.
Cynthia, by the way, who I'm also a big fan of, and it's your
Best friend.
heterosexual life partner, I would say, because that's what me and Lewis are. She's my
Listen,
Cynthia.
the only thing is that there's no benefits like that. There's no benefits. Sorry about that. There's no benefits, none whatsoever. Except we're business partners, best friends. She's an only child. I'm one of five. So you can already imagine who thinks they can park in the front space of the parking lot. She's the reigning princessa, and I'm just, helping out.
You're not the diva in that situation.
To be honest, I'm the girl that will take this track out. I'm not really very diva-ish. I mean, it takes a lot to do all this stuff. I'm really just a hardworking girl that landed an amazing television show to spread my brand, right? Just get knowledge and know about people. And I'm thankful for that. But I'll get in the trenches, man. I don't care.
Now let's learn a little bit about Molly. Okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Now, we do know you're from Georgia and then you have a lingerie business. But before you went on 90 Day Fiance, who is Molly? Tell us about yourself.
Honestly, for the last 14 years, I've really just been pushing my business, trying to help women all over the world. I've always had a penchant for people. I love people from all over. I've traveled a lot. I think a lot of times when you're from Georgia or from the South, I mean, let's face it, I'm a white girl, right? I was born in this car, but the person that lives inside of me is just open to everybody, right? I love human race. I love going places. I love other people's culture. I feel like if you haven't traveled or you don't go places to meet other people, you have to. I mean, you guys are in New York, right? What's the number one thing that people think up north about the people from Georgia? We're slow. Or we don't know, or we say y'all, we're uneducated, and there are a lot of those, but I'm just a person. I really feel like, not to toot my own horn, but I'm very giving. I do a lot of charity work. I go into the inner city and help a lot of people with bra fittings and just wherever I can volunteer. I've always done that a lot, but I'm a self-proclaimed Georgia girl that can change a tire, cook a meal, or mend a hole in your pants.
There you go.
Let's go.
But I got a little street hustle to me too now,
So what made you get into the lingerie business?
Honestly, I went to school for music.
Really?
I thought I was going to be this theology teacher and maybe running some mega choir somewhere. I worked for a little while in the 90s, late 90s, when hip hop in Atlanta was really pumping out a lot. I've worked a lot at a lot of songwriter, different conventions. My brother's a musician as well. But then I just everybody was always asking me to help them with their bras, and I sewed, and I was like, you know what, this is not my calling. And it really was just a vision and a spiritual thing. It landed in my lap, and I was like, I've had boobs since the third grade. So I need to know where, if it's remotely visible, it's not a secret. And Victoria's Secret and all these places really weren't doing it for me, and they weren't doing it for a lot of people. And I just decided when I met Cynthia, we wanted to open this store. So that's what I've been doing. I mean, for most of my whole life, adult life, is getting through and open this shop and just to help women and have a safe space where it's judgment free, no matter your size, your shape, your color. We've pushed forward to try to have a space where women of color, I don't care if you're brown skin, black skin, light skin, needed a space, and they needed a voice for people to say, you know what? When I roll up to my shop, I need images. I need people. I want to see things that look like me. So we've always pushed for girls to have that space. And interestingly enough, this year, for the first time ever in my history of doing this business, I just got 5 vendor catalogs, and there's Black and brown girls, Latina chicks, everybody on the cover, and there's not white girls. And I was very excited for that, because it's time. It's time to have a place and a space and be represented. Because when we would come up to New York at the Javits Center for our Curves market, Cynthia and I are always like, where the curves at? You've got these super skinny, super hungry, emaciated girls. And I'm not saying nothing about that, but if I'm shopping for some thoroughbreds, where's it at? The show is called Curves. And I'm like, it's a joke to us, so we really tried to find a space and make a product and do things that would satisfy the needs of these women.
We heard you got a hidden talent around your
Jedi mind
business in a Jedi trick that you can look at someone and you can tell
particularly
the side.
Oh, absolutely. I can. Yeah. Cynthia, that's kind of like our superhero power, I guess.
Got it. So does that work for men and women, or is just for women? That's your talent.
Listen,
if Craze
I would love to say
size.
that was the case, but if it was, there would have been a few that was left behind. Stay tuned. That's going to be my new show. We're going to get a roadshow comedy tour together. It's going to be called The Dictators. You think I'm playing?
So you have this business going, and then somehow you end up on a little reality show called 90 Day Fiance, where you meet this young man from the Dominican Republic. By the way, I'm Dominican, so is the other Louis that's in the frame.
It's all good.
You meet this Dominican man, you fall in love with him, you request to have a K-1 visa, he comes over, doesn't work out. Our show's from Washington Heights, and that is the biggest Dominican community in New York. So Craze, we got asked a lot of questions once we were told. Once people knew you were coming on.
The Dominican men and the Luises of the world want to know if you have now a skewed opinion about Dominican men. Are we out of the picture? You done with the Dominican men and Luises?
I wouldn't say it's out of the question or out of the picture. I'll say this. I don't know where my head was or what I was going through or where I was. I think I was really in a space in my life where I was hitting 40 and I wasn't sure. And, it wasn't just about him. It was about the culture. It was about the island. It was about the vibe. I love the country. I wanted to buy a 2-bedroom villa there that was on flipped out house or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I can live right here on the beach. And I think when you go there for the first time and you experience beautiful beaches and a sense of culture, of community, and the food is amazing. And on every corner, the music and the discotheques and the whole thing. I'm it just makes you feel different. Right. The first time I walked out to the water and I was like, why in the hell would I ever go to Panama City or the redneck Riviera of Florida, drive 6 hours, spend way too much money on terrible seafood when I can fly 3 hours, stay in the dopest place?
Food and drinks.
Food and drinks are incredible. So I had rented this apartment one time when I went down there. And as soon as I stepped out 10 feet, I'm on the beach and there's the freshest little seafood hut and everything was amazing. And, I love it. I'll still go back. I loved it. It was beautiful.
Have you gone back since you and the person that shall not be named in this podcast split up?
I have not, but just because I immediately jumped into filming Pillow Talk and my business was soaring. And then the COVID stuff started hitting. There was just a lot of things, but I would so go back. Someone asked me and I'm like, yes, I would go back. And I think the other thing that really touched me was I went into Santo Domingo to visit Luis's parents and they his father's a minister. He's a pastor. And his mother teaches Sunday school on Saturdays. And they had this huge Jesus mural in their house. And all the children that came from their little sector on their street in their community, when they came, like I had taken toothbrushes and toothpaste and toiletries and little coloring books and all this stuff to go in there. And I think we're spoiled here. We're very spoiled. And it touched my heart in a way that I was like, I could do this all day long, because I can call right now and get a pizza on my front door in 30 minutes. You guys can have a pizza in 5, right? Like, boom, here you go. And for us, it's like no big deal. But for those kids, when I did bring pizzas in, it was like Christmas morning for kids here. I mean, I had to go around the house because it made me cry deeply. Like I didn't know, because I never experienced that, or people who maybe didn't have a lot, or how they were so excited. And he was always like, you can bring, you know, stuff from the thrift store or old Jordans, or if you have anything that you can bring. And I'd never seen that. Even though I grew up in a fairly poor area, I think that's part of what made me fall in love too, was just the ministry that I did there. So it became this super cute, you know, crazy punk. And then I evolved through the time. It was almost 2 years actually. And I think people don't realize that, but I still love the country. I love the culture. I don't want to not. And I'm also a person that doesn't believe that just because someone else made a mistake or did something bad, or I made a stupid choice, I'm not going to push my thoughts off onto somebody, you know, or think that everybody's the same way. I mean, it'd be like you guys thinking that every white person in the world thinks that all brown skinned people are Mexican, or that, you know, all white people are racist, or whatever it is. You can't just define one person or one culture based off one experience.
100% agree with you. And this is the last question on the Lewis topic. So my wife and I watch you religiously on Pillow Talk. For our money, you and Cynthia are the best pillow talkers. Don't tell Pedro and Annie that I said that. But you guys are the best pillow talkers.
I'm gonna tell Annie.
On the show. It's just, we see the clip and we're like, oh, can't wait to see what Cynthia and Molly's reaction is to the clip. My wife always wanted to know what Cynthia thought of Luis.
Well, in the beginning, you know, she's kind of the one that made me talk to him, because when we first got there, we were there on a girls' trip, and it was a like this discount World Venture Vacation Club thing, and he was trying to talk to me, and I'm like, I just want a drink. Like, what are you doing? Well, the next thing I know, she sort of flipped out my business card. And by the time I woke up, he had sent me a message on social. And she's like, he's so cute. And her husband's 17 years younger. So, of course, she's like, girl, go for it. You can do it. It's great, you know? And I'm like, but it actually took several days before I even entertained the idea of like finding him on the resort or going back. And then after I did, I went back like a week later for my birthday. But she felt like he was really good at grooming us, because one of my other best friends, and another friend who went back with me, because we all went and traveled back and forth, were like, what the hell happened? And I was like, I have no idea. I think he had someone here, but she loved him too until he got here, and he was a pompous ass.
Yeah, it unraveled pretty quickly on the show. So on the behalf of Dominican people, we apologize for you ending up with one of the worst ones.
We'll own it. Yo, on behalf of Dominicans,
we'll take the loss.
And Luis's,
we'll take that loss. But
it's all good, you guys. But listen, you don't even have to say it on behalf of your people. Like, you know, shit happens.
Yeah.
You know?
We're glad that TLC reached out and then decided to add you on Pillow Talk. Were you hesitant to join the cast?
No, because I realized very quickly, I never watched the show when I first went on. My business partner, obviously, Cynthia, she's like, you're going to kill me. And I'm like, why? And she's like, because I'm obsessed with this show called 90 Day Fiance. And at the end of it, they're like, if you know someone who's going through the process, can you send them our way or whatever, like the application? I didn't know anything about it. I never even watched it. But she apparently binge watched it all night and was like, I'm obsessed with this show. So it was this, you know, it's kind of like a cult phenomenon thing, because people really are obsessed with our crazy lives. I think it puts into perspective that maybe their crazy isn't quite so crazy. But then when they reached out, I was like, why not? You know, I understand the dynamics. I know why people do this. And there's some that are really great. And the ratio of who's made it and the success stories versus who hasn't is varying, you know, like it's very different. Most people have made it. There's just a handful of us, as you will see on Singles, who didn't. But I loved it. And I love to be with my bestie on the couch because the crazy banter that we do, it's so funny because people are always like, is this what they're really like? And we're like, yeah. I mean, this might even be, you know, filtered down a little bit because we're real. And I think that's why people love us, because when we say things, it's in a comedic way. We're not really there to judge people. And in Truth and Love, she really is a blonde girl. Like, she's like light bulb off. Like, what do you mean? I wonder if they call this or what's that? Like, she's funny. She's a funny chick. So, you know, our banter and what we say just really goes together. And we think the same thing. So a lot of times it really comes out that way.
So your famous phrase on Pillow Talk came out from you guys repeatedly saying, "Oh no."
And what's even funnier is that a lot of people really love it, but then there's people who are like, oh my God, their voice is annoying. They annoy us, grow up or whatever. Or how can you fake such a country accent? I'm like, do you know where the hell we're from? We are from that place. But we didn't even realize that we were doing it until like some 90-day huge fan made us a caricature and it said, oh no.
I don't know if you guys have done it yet, but a t-shirt or oh no brazier should be in the works sometime.
We've done a couple. We did a Teespring account where people could just go and get it, so we didn't have to worry about produce. But we put it on our all the packages we send out. We send out a little autograph of it, so it's pretty cute. But we've got a lot of sayings.
So after the Pillow Talk, TLC launches Discovery Plus, which is an amazing app, $4.99, thousands and thousands of hours of 90-day. If you're a fan like Cynthia was, this is the app to have because you can binge watch. Now you got this really interesting show called 90-Day The Single Life. What kind of Molly or what can we expect in this show? Because there's no other person. It's just you in the dating world that exists now.
I think you're gonna see a lot of just crazy, you know, montage of love and life and whatnot, and a lot of questions and interviews about would you ever do this again, and just a recap of what crap I went through before, which was painstaking to have to just relive those moments. Not from a heartfelt, but just like a I want to throw up. They're like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I just thought about the money, right? Like, oh God, that was an expensive lesson. I'm like, hurry up. I need to get back to work. But, you know, just fun. I mean, the whole thing is like super fun. And the filming part and just going through routines, you're going to see a lot of me at work, and then all of my, you know, doubtful girlfriends of anything that comes from this point forward, because they're very protective of me. I think that I have some really dope girlfriends and they're protective. My kids, you know, I think there's a lot of that. So you're going to see the intermix of life.
Perfect. The fans get to know you more. And speaking of the fans of 90 Day Fiance, you must have some crazy fans. You were on Bears All with Sean Robinson, and you were talking about the insane DMs that you get of unsolicited photos that you receive.
I told you. I'm about to flip those pics into a Southeastern tour when COVID settles its ugly ass down. We're going out there. We are. The dictators are coming for you.
Besides the photos, has there been because I think it was Kalani I think it was Kalani. Kalani said a fan one time approached her while she was breastfeeding one of her kids and took a photo of her in public. So that's kind of disturbing. Have you
If
witnessed?
that happened to me, I would have yanked that baby off my titty and probably slapped him with it. Like, come on, have some decency. I mean, hell, somebody had a picture of me that I didn't know existed, I guess, from some eons ago and shared it. And all of a sudden, I'm getting all these DMs wanting to know where my OnlyFans is. And I'm like, I don't have an OnlyFans. But with all these messages I'm getting, I sure wish I did. But you know, with people nowadays, you could have somebody could take this image right now and have me sitting here completely naked, like a graphics person. But I was like, I wish I had OnlyFans because I could do a lot of fixing up around my house. I would probably have some real coins. I could buy that villa in the Dominican. I mean, come on, you know, I'm not that person. I don't have to. And at any given point, you know, if I do have my person, like, I don't want that kind of stuff out there. Kudos to the girls who do. You got some, but it's just not my thing. I mean, I've made some dumb mistakes and clearly I've aired it all over the world through 90 Day Fiance, but not in that facet. But, you know, it is what it is. But I got some great girl pals, people sending gifts. There's some creative people out here in the world. And you know, obviously they're trying to get their business hustle on. So they'll just slide you a gift and be like, you know, and I try my best to say thank you or share it on social because I believe in that. I believe that if we shared everybody's small business as much as we, you know, run to big business, that everybody could get a piece of the pie. So I really support women in business, and I've met some amazing people all over the world. And then I was doing virtual bra fittings. I fit Rebecca on the Bears All show. And even the guys there filming, when she walked out from what she left in and when she came back, they were like, oh, I mean, you could hear them all. They noticed. I mean, it was a big transformation. So because of that, I'm booked through like March, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
That's perfect. We do have a female co-host, and I should have set it up, but maybe we could have had you fit Jayla.
I absolutely would do it.
But you're welcome. Well, I'm gonna extend the invitation right now to you and Cynthia to come back together on the podcast whenever you guys like. But I didn't schedule that beforehand. It was just a thought that came to me earlier.
Well, it would require probably not the live, because we do have to see a little bit. Sometimes girls are hiding stuff in their bra that should be in it. So when you dip it around and pull it forward, you know. But we would love to. I mean, that's our goal. You know, we want to have a store everywhere. Women should have access to beautiful things, feel pretty, nice bras, and you shouldn't feel uncomfortable to go in a store that's ran by teenagers. Like, we're moms, we've had kids, we've been up and down in weight. Some women have cancer. So, and even the men, we offer a service where once you shop with us, if your man comes in, we have your size. So it takes the guesswork out. So that's a really great thing, because you guys, you're kind of clueless. It's not one size fits all. One size fits all. There's usually one size fits small, like way too small. And we want to choke you with that shit. Or you'd be like, who's this coming for?
I'm sorry. Valentine's Day is coming up. Is Livirae, right? That's the name of your shop. Mm-hmm. Is Livirae having some sort of Valentine's Day deal for men and women? Like, if you're a man and you want to get your wife lingerie.
So if the men come in, and sometimes we do gift card promo matches, but if the men come in, we help you. And it's really a good idea to have a photo or have at least some sense of what size you think. I can usually look at a photo and nail it. As Cynthia as well, and our staff. Like if they have like the men clothes, or if they have like a selfie or a little sneaky peeky. I mean, we've had some guys show us their girls in the sneaky peekies. but we have something for everyone. And when men come in, we will gift wrap it, and we don't charge for that, just because it's just a one-stop shop. It makes it easy. You could go, and we try to have a little like this past couple weekends. We have a guy that plays bass guitar, but he takes and he does like all the instrumentals from like his board, and he does it with the pedal with his foot, and he strums the bass, and he just really does these incredible versions of slowed down hip hop. his name is Bass Every Night, Ben, B.E.N. He's incredible. So we've had him in there just playing some real soft, cool vibes for our clients. And I think this weekend we're going to have the mad violinist, Ashanti Floyd. If you've never heard of him, check him out. He's incredible. So he plays electric violin along with a bunch of songs. So we just try to do things different and have a fun experience, because you guys have super cool stores when they're open up there, and like all kinds of stuff always happening in the street. And where we're at, it's north of the city. So we have to kind of bring some flavor to the suburbs.
Okay. So in the single life, you're obviously single. What are you looking for as far as a relationship or a partner, or did you go with it?
Let's just keep it real. Somebody who's established, someone who can really come, and I hate to use the cliche statement of equally yoked, but like someone who has options, or if they're at retirement point, and I'm not saying older, but like maybe they've had a career, or somebody who has some benefits. Like, I'm tired of paying my own insurance bills. Like, can you come with something? You need a car, you need a bank account. You know, you got to come with something, because I can't, at this point in my life, I can't fix anybody else's stuff. Like, you got to come with it. And if you're my age and you come with a whole bunch of baggage, I got enough of my own, babe. Pack light. We got to do this.
So there's no set, like, you don't have like, oh, between, this age and that age,
I definitely am not going to date someone super young ever again. That's just not an option. I mean, it was fun while it lasted, but I realized very quickly the maturity level. And there's a lot of guys that try to holler that are like, oh, I know what I want in a woman. No, you don't. You want somebody that's established, no issues, no drama. And you want an older person because you got mom issues. Maybe I had the same issue too with the younger guy. I don't know, but it's a no for me. So yeah, and someone who's interested in what I have going on. I'm a busy business person, so I don't have time to coddle and be that, super soft, sweet chick all the time. I'll come home and make dinner and do good things and go on trips, but I gotta work still. So if a fat bank account's there, I'm down for that.
Your hustle.
Yeah. What's that?
I said someone that's also gonna support your hustle, bring something to the table.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm down to work with somebody else if they have a business. I mean, I'm trying to have multiple streams of stuff going on, because I feel like when you have more, you can do more. And I'm really a charitable giver. I feel like that's one of my best qualities, is that I'm of service. And that's one of my love languages, is really being of service and trying to help and do, which is probably what ended me up in my predicament. But I'm not going to let that have my mind. I mean, I'm actually sitting in a room now that's kind of like a Zen den for me. And I have to meditate and really, I was glad COVID came, because I was in a tailspin for a while. And I think that last year gave me the opportunity to figure out what I want, who I am, and what I can present and have moving forward.
So since COVID, let's talk about COVID for a little bit. You guys switched from lingerie to making masks. And how did that affect your business, by the way, COVID? Because I imagine
it affected it greatly. But when I came to work on March 16th, right as the part was swelling down to Georgia, and they had sent the college students home, and I'm just going to be real honest, when the first college student hit the door at our store and like came in, and I was like, oh, boo, have you had a bath? If you don't wash your ass, you sure ain't wearing a mask and worried about spreading COVID. So I looked at Cynthia and she looked at me, and I said, we're shutting this shit down. Like, we could have stayed open because we do prosthetics for cancer patients, and we do a lot of mastectomy products and nursing bras, which are really essential for women. But I didn't want to. I said, I'm not risking it. I don't want to do this. I don't want to deal with it. And I had a really great sense of peace about it, even though I knew that was our busy season, and the numbers compared to last year, I mean, we were down 50% for 4 months. But you know what? We flipped it. We got our hustle on. We got our sewing machines out. But the crazier thing is, when down here and even across the world, probably, people were getting unemployment and nobody wanted to work, even when it was time to get the work on. And they didn't have to come to my shop, my workers. They could have sat home and cut masks and cut fabric. And there was a couple girls that didn't come back because I'm like, if you can't get down dirty with us when times are hard, you don't have a seat at the table anymore. Because I was working 16-hour days and we were like miserably tired. And I said, no. But my nail lady and her crew came through and helped us cut. I would drop the fabric off across the street. And you already know the Vietnamese women was getting it in. And I'm like, I'm not. We're not going there. So it made me think about who really had my back at that point and whose back I had all along. But then when the shit hit the fan, they weren't there. And I was like, you can't be a part of this anymore. So, but we did great. And I told the network, they were filming the quarantine special and we were self-filming. But I said, please allow us, this is my daily life. Can we please do a virtual fitting and can we showcase what we're doing? Because we're really providing a service for people that need this. So we were day in, day out. Cynthia and I single-handedly sewn over 10,000 masks with the help of cutters and people. So I had to buy a new machine because that little engine that could went. It wasn't ready for all that. The home sewers, And I also thought of a new business model because I have so many girlfriends that were like, I own a sewing machine, but I don't know how to use it. And I was like, well, a lot of good that's going to do us. So I'm going to start a new class called Bitch and Stitch. So what? I said, if girls can get together and paint and drink wine, why can't we get together and sew?
Yeah.
So I'm going to teach them because I'm not going to be ass out again when it comes to something like this.
Yo, I want to join that class. I want to learn how to hem my own pants and stuff too.
Yeah, you could. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be super fun. But yeah, I mean, we did it. We did it. And by the grace of God, when it aired, it was pitiful because there was a lot of older people who were really scared. But we found out there was a whole nother stream of fans that aren't on social. They don't Instagram. They don't Facebook. They don't tweet. So when we came back to work after the show dropped, we had over 200 messages from older people who said, we want a mask. Yeah. How can we get a mask? And they just trusted us to send them something that was, female or male. And we shipped it out and they were so grateful. But they were like, I don't have a PayPal and all that. Can I send you a check? And it was so great because I'm like, I cannot believe these 80-year-old people are watching 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah,
everybody's home. They have to watch something and
something. So it's just been an influx of people from all over.
So Molly, we want to have some fun with you right now.
Okay.
Let's go into our first segment. Let's do distorted photos first. I want to do that one first. So do you see the screen with the words distorted pictures on it?
No.
No. All right. So I'm gonna have to pin Justin.
Justin, you have to pin it to your
Let me see. How about now?
No.
No. So Justin, you're gonna have to talk.
You have to play some music or something in the background.
All right, number one.
Number one.
Oh boy.
Number one.
What the heck? I don't know. It looks like I'm trying to give some 50 Shades of Livirae. I don't know.
Justin, let's review that photo.
There it is.
Oh my gosh. All I could see was a whole bunch of backlit stripes. I'm like, ooh, who was I standing in front of the blinds for?
So in this photo,
you thought it might have been another unreleased photo floating out there?
Right.
No,
now you need to cue the music.
Your well, I have Craze Boogie, that's my heterosexual life partner. But this is Cynthia, your business partner and best friend, and apparently the person that shoved you into the 90-day universe. Justin, let's go with the next one.
Next one.
Can I tell y'all something about this picture? I I really realized how famous this photo was when Slash reposted this picture from Guns N' Roses.
Slash from Guns N'
He
Roses.
shared this picture on
That's
his
wild.
Facebook and said, "Sign me up." Well, it was really funny because a lot of people had shared that and it became this meme and everybody was like, first signs of fall. What happened was Cynthia and I were trying to shoot a burlesque photo shoot, and she's so crazy because she's like, what can we do? We're out of the box. We're not going to do the classic car. We're not going to do, she's like, let's put pumpkins on your boobs. And I'm like, what? And of course I'm like, okay. So she carved out pumpkins, and that's how that picture came about, through a pinup photo shoot.
Let's move to the next one. Let me see if
Next one.
Wait, so my understanding about that is that your boobs were inside the pumpkin.
We're
Oh yeah,
inside
they
the
were
pumpkin.
inside the pumpkin. She carved them out.
Oh, okay.
And shortly after that, I let
and
them go.
must
And I
have gutted
said,
them because there's seeds inside. So
she
on
scooped
set,
them out. And then I said, right after I held them up, I said, let me let them go and see if they stay up. But we're always doing crazy stuff. So
Well,
we're out of the box. Really,
next-
really nuts.
Next time you're doing a photo shoot, y'all gotta invite me at least. I don't know about the rest of them.
Justin,
Oh my God, you
what
guys
is
are
our
great.
next photo?
All right, next one.
I have no idea. It looks like the outside of my front door that needs repair. It looks like some wood
Let's see.
Justin,
paneling.
There it is.
so this is a photo of you and Cynthia on the famous couch of Pillow Talk.
Oh, okay.
Are you able to see the photos? by the
No,
way?
I can't see it.
Here it is. You see it?
No.
You got to talk again, Justin.
Here it is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We were leaning in. Like we really had stuff going on, honey. That was when it first started, I think.
Hey.
That
Yeah.
couch is. Have you? You guys have dropped like crumbs, and have you spilled the wine that you guys drink on the sofa during the shoots?
We haven't spilled the wine, but we definitely, as you probably saw on one of the shows, which also pumped our new product called Bibbies, Bibs for your boobs. We have bibs on our website that are cleanable that you could take to restaurants, because I always catch popcorn, snacks, stain my shirt. It lands in my lap sometimes if it misses here, but we made those bibs, and we were eating ribs. And when she went to sit down with the plate, it was slick. And so they flew across the plate into my lap. So
Shit.
there's a few petrified goldfish in there, I'm sure. I try to clean my cushions every now and again because I have a 10-year-old who eats all over the house and we don't have a pet. So there's probably some snacks in there that have petrified their
Do you
heart.
think at this point TLC would say, Cynthia, Molly, let's get you a brand new couch, for the aesthetics,
I don't care if they do or not. I'm trying to work a deal, because if I had $1 for everybody that asked me where they bought that couch, Rooms to Go and Cindy Crawford Home should cut me a check.
Let's
So
go.
I'm trying to get somebody to furnish it and get a check, baby. Come on.
Cindy Crawford.
If
Cindy
eventually,
Crawford Home. I know we got somebody from Cindy Crawford Home that
probably
listens to
that's
this
watching.
podcast.
If
So
you
let's
do
let us
end
know.
up getting a new sofa, you and Cynthia are gonna have to autograph this one and auction it off.
Auction it off. Yeah, that's true.
It is so crazy to me, but I don't think it's that crazy, because I always, when people call me on virtuals, or if
Mhm.
they send me pictures of their selves in their new bra, I'm always like trying to see what's in their background.
Exactly, yeah.
It's fun. I mean, we're curious people. I think that's why we get so strong and sprung on all these shows anyway, right? Because we're curious
That's true.
and it's entertaining.
So here's the next photo. Justin, show
All
us.
right, here's the next one. Do you see it?
Oh yeah.
Where's this photo from, Molly?
It looks like from the new show that's about to drop. in the clip that they've been airing that says I'm looking for excitement in the bedroom.
Oh,
Now with the last one, is this the last one, Justin, that's coming up?
Last one right here.
Okay. So before you guess this one, I have not only distorted the photo, I have altered the image with our other co-host, Benny Banks, who is not here today. Unfortunately, I wish he was here. Um, can you recognize this photo?
It looks like when I was in front of my cousin's barn for like a still shot for the show, but I'm not sure. I just saw the green and I know that was in there. That color is very visible and recognizable, but I don't know.
Justin, let's reveal this photo.
Here it is.
So we've updated.
Look, I look like I'm about to really rub the belly, baby. Come on. That's like the super old Olin Mills pose. Like that, some of those poses are so whack, but you know, it is what it is.
hey, that's fly.
But he's cute. I mean, it's all good. I'm really thin after that picture, but then COVID hit and I just love to eat. So I'd hate to say it, but I love food, so it's fine.
And you're from the South. I'm sure you get down too in the kitchen.
So our next segment is I'm forgetting. Oh, this or that. This is actually a fun one. Okay. So Justin,
you guys are fun. I didn't know what to expect. This might be like the coolest interview I've ever done.
Thank you. I truly appreciate that. Justin, can you reveal the first one?
Okay, this one.
So would you prefer Pillow Talk or the Single Life?
I would say the same. No, the Pillow Talk for sure. Pillow Talk.
Okay. I imagine hanging out with your best friend and watching television.
It's just fun. We have such a great day and we have time. Like we love to have that time together because we used to get to do a ton of stuff and now she's married and home and we're work all the time. And when we're at work, it's just work. So I love hanging out with her on the couch.
Let's go to the next one. So mentioning Pillow Talk, either Team Oh No, or I can't pronounce their last name. I don't want to butcher it. Or Team Alex and Lauren. So which two would you which one would you prefer?
Watch.
Who? Myself?
Yeah.
Team Oh No, which is you and Cynthia, or Alex and Lauren.
Who's the better team, you think?
Who's the better team on Pillow Talk?
That's a tough pick. And I'll say this because we love Lauren and Alex, but I would say us. We're just crazy. We're off the cuff. We're not scared to say anything, and there's no telling. I think they have to sometimes filter and fix what we say.
I think that out of Pillow Talk is actually one of the best shows on 90 Day. But I think they have to have you and Cynthia and also Alex and Lauren. They can rotate people in and out, but it just, you guys bring a different element.
It's the dynamic is so different.
Let's go to the next one, Justin. So your new show, you have other castmates. You have Colt and Big Ed. Which of the two would you prefer?
Colt.
Colty, really?
Yeah, Colty.
Over Big Ed?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Have you met either Colt or Big Ed in person? I mean, people honestly think all 90 Dayers know each other personally.
No, I have not, but I have. It's so funny because Colt messaged me one time. He commented on a picture and Cynthia and I started dying laughing and we're like, oh no, it better not happen. He better not.
Watch Pillow Talk, by the way, Colt? Do you think he watched? You think he, because some of the
I'm sure.
On him and his mother are some of the funniest.
So what I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say I had super fans from Tana Lee and Nick Hogan, and Tana was like a super huge porn star, and Nick obviously is Hulk Hogan's son.
Yeah.
Well, they live in Las Vegas, and they met Colt because they were huge. They're huge fans of the show, and so Nick started training Colt. So one night they tried to FaceTime me. They tried to call me on video messenger and then sent me a picture of all of them and Colt's mom. And I think they had her doing shots. So that would have been a fun conversation.
Really?
So we would have actually had the first face-to-face time together. Whole Deb was drinking.
We might need to watch that for like a maybe.
I would like
encourage
this.
Colt to shoot his shot. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I would.
Oh,
like
I don't know about that.
Debbie taking shots. That should be interesting. TV. Justin, what's the next one? Okay, so you also have two younger, Fernanda and Brittany. This or that? Which would you prefer?
Fernanda.
Fernanda. Okay, I'm not gonna go into why, but
Okay, Fernanda.
Justin, what's the next one? Okay, so out of the Dominican cast members of 90 Day Fiance, there was Luis, Pedro, and Annie. So for this purpose, Pedro or Annie, who would you prefer to hang out with? Who do you like better? Annie?
Mm-hmm.
Pedro, don't hold it against me or Molly. It's just, whoever.
Annie's lit though. Annie, I feel like she's somebody.
She's got like a dry wit.
No.
She's funny, but it's very like even. There's an even platform, but she's funny. She comes with some funny stuff. I honestly too, because on the show with his mother or his son's mother, Diamond Fox. I mean, some of the stuff they tried to do to her and what they said, I would have probably flipped the table over. I mean, I would have been like, you're not coming for me. You know what I'm saying? How are you going to come for me? You need to look at what you've had going on. Like, this is a no. So I felt like she really kept her cool, but I feel like she really probably could have really
we asked her actually about that. And she said under different circumstances, she would have got a different reaction from her. She also said, I don't remember, but it was like in Spanish. Once I mentioned the scene, you could see the expression.
The fuming.
Yeah, on her face.
I think so too. I think if it hadn't have been on film, she would have thrown some boats.
A different outcome for sure.
She also mentioned that she didn't feel that she needed to be there or go or meet these Bryson's grandparents. But she went, made the best out of the situation because that was terrible.
And I just think she's so beautiful. I think she's beautiful. And I love the fact that when he took her to like that shop and she was like, no, you're not about to buy me no clothes that other people had on. She already had that. He was like, no. So I like her for that. But I also think she's such a beautiful person. And I love the fact that she had a baby and she's not trying to, extort or like put her kid out there, and she's very protective. And I think that they'll make it and everything's going to be good. I like her.
I also think the relationship with her stepson, Bryson, is great to watch. They got along right away, and he stepped in as sort of a mother to him. It was one of my favorite things to watch. Also, the apartment thing when they went to an apartment and Robert's like, I already signed the lease. And she's like, why would you bring me here then? So it's pretty funny. Justin, do you have one more?
That's it. 5.
That's it. That was the 5. Okay. So our last segment is called 3, 2, 1. What are 3 things you've been watching during COVID?
1,000 Pound Sisters. I love that show. One of them pregnant.
A marathon of them.
I sent her a DM and told her I could get her a nursing bra. Let me look at her boobs. Per my own request, and it was so funny because I told Cynthia, and she's like, "Oh my God, I sent her one too." And I'm like, "You did?" But a lot of people had said they wanted me to bra fit her too. But I love My Feet Are Killing Me. I have this crazy obsession with shows like that. Dr. Pimple Popper, Feet Are Killing Me. Strange Addictions. Like, I love weirdo shows. I love it. I could totally be Dr. Lee and be like,
my wife can watch. She loves Dr. Pimple Popper.
Why is that? Why is it that
I can't watch it? It's just
no. But listen,
I don't know.
Rick, I think
I love it.
This is something to be discussed. I think most women that I've talked to love Dr. Pimple Popper and are like, they love just the concept. They find it so satisfying. I cannot watch more than like 30 seconds of that shit before I'm like, I can't.
The big squeeze. I don't know. Maybe it's because we thought we could just get out some aggression if we're like.
Maybe there's something there. Like
well, the worst is when the commercial comes on and you're having dinner and she's like squeezing a ball.
It's disgusting. I know. It's like if your TVs were like, you could smell it. It's so gross.
Oh.
I will confess, I binge watched Bridgerton. It was incredible.
On Netflix.
It is so good. I love historical romance, but I love the spin that, obviously they use Black people in that show and Latin people, which was never would have been seen as royalty or, distinguished. And I thought that was really cool. And then I love the fact that the musical score from that show took modern songs and put a spin on it. And so I just thought it was such a great show. I can't wait for the new season to start filming in the spring. I already looked up to see when it was coming because it's so good.
And two things you've listened to. It could be an audiobook or music during COVID.
Two things I listened to. One thing I listen to quite frequently, I listen to Joyce Meyer. I don't know if you know who that is, but she's like a super country Christian speaker, but she had it rough and she's very positive, but she's real. I also listen to Wayne Dyer, which is The Power of Positive Thinking. And I have it on replay because I feel like anything that you continue to pour into your head, you can execute in your life. And it's very, very important. And like I said, after going through things and, even though I have I would say like a strong skin, I'm thick, sometimes things you read about yourself or hear about yourself, it's not that you begin to believe it, but it does tear away at your psyche. So I try to stay involved with like really positive stuff. But I also started following this group that my brother's friend started on Facebook, which was Social Distance Fest. And basically what he did is he started a platform that artists that usually were playing in bars and pubs and grills and places all over the world that were now not able to go. He set up this platform for them to go live on the stage and play music. And I discovered some of the coolest untapped talent to listen to all over. And it was also cool because they could put up their Cash App or their Venmo. So if anybody wanted to, and in a very quick amount of time, they had like 150,000 people in like a couple weeks. So it's a forum for like local artists.
Social Fest on Facebook, right?
Social Distance Fest. And some of the big name music people who produce festivals saw it and want to do it once COVID's over and have that festival start. So I was listening to like a lot of local people and people who are just, maybe never untapped talent, but some really cool stuff.
COVID came with negatives.
So that was 3
positives, and I feel like if you didn't figure out some things you need, I think we lost Molly there.
I'm here.
There we go. If you didn't figure out how to be creative during COVID, then maybe what you were doing wasn't for you. Right. And finally, one thing you look to achieve in this brand new spanking year of 2021.
So I've been in business for 14 years and I've had a very successful business, but it's high time to have this business be available to people other than just in the state of Georgia. And we have a couple products that we're working on. I just started a patent pending on one of them and you're going to see it on the show. But I wanted to start the process because we didn't realize at the time we made it that it was actually going to be seen and viewed by all these people at some point, probably in March or April. So I went ahead and started the process. So I'm very hopeful that this will be the project that sets me and Cynthia really just off the map. I mean, we have a great life. We've always worked hard, but I'm ready to enjoy the fruits of my labor on something that was just a funny idea that's going to probably turn into the biggest producing monetary thing that we've ever done. And now I'll be able to help people do more and then take some downtime and travel the world once we're back open and, spend with my family. Cause I I'm still young and I'm going to hustle and grind, but I'd like to have the opportunity to not if I don't want to.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. We definitely agree with you. Molly, I want to thank you again for taking the time to be on the show. Thank you for being a good sport and going through our segments. You are invited. I'm saying it right now. You and Cynthia are invited to come back whenever you guys like after Single Life or whenever it is to come on the show. So
Sure.
thanks again.
You're welcome. We might need you guys to help us figure out how to do like these types of podcasts because we have another idea. Her nickname's Hooch, and my nickname is Stinky, and together we're Stinky Hooch. So that kind of has to be an after show.
Yo,
I could definitely help you, and you can send me some messages.
All right, perfect.
Set you on the right track.
Well, thank you so much. Much love to the Dominicans. Bye, fellas. Have a great night.
You too. You can catch Molly on 90 Day The Single Life on Discovery Plus. Thank you, Molly. Have a good night.